Do you love that? I just like stopped the music on you. How are you? Welcome to Big Fat Panda show number 71. I am very excited because he was here. His camera's off now, so I don't know. Maybe he ran away. No, he's there. He's there. Mark Daniel from comedy, from Disney, from places he's this positive guy, isn't he? He's just a positive, funny person. If you don't know who Mark Daniel is, I don't know where you've been. I have a little video that is from his YouTube channel. So I have to show you this. And then when I get him here, we'll go more into his YouTube channel. His YouTube channel should have so many more subscribers and it should have so many more viewers because of the content that he puts out. It's really good. Again, I just think, you know what? Let me stop talking. Let me show you something about Mark Daniel. Let me go. Oh my God, there's 24 comments already. Hold on. Hi, Justin. Hi, Lance. Hi, Susan. Hi, Mary. Hi, Social Parenting. No, you did not scare him away. Oh, that's Priscilla. Hi, Brian. Hi, Chris. Andrea. David. Okay, let me, before I go crazy, let me start this. I like this. This is I think it's a minute and a half of who Mark Daniels is.
Crossing the rope bridge on Wild Africa Trek. This is where you get to see massive crocs and hippos. Where? Right down there. Come on, we're going to get even closer.
Hey everyone, Mark here with Inside Disney Parks, bringing you the latest from our parks around the world.
The nighttime shoot for the Thanksgiving episode, so we're going to do it right now.
The Headless Horseman. You know what time it is. It's Halloween time.
This Halloween expansion is spooktacular.
There's so many exciting things to check out. I'm going to start right here in Spain. Buen provecho from the Food and Wine Festival. It's only appropriate that we take a look back to where it all began at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Things heat up at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex for the 2016 Invictus Games.
Sam, put your finger right in there.
Right there?
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
It's a trap!
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mark Daniel. Hey, Mark.
Hello everybody. Hello, John. Thanks for having me on Big Fat Panda.
Thank you very much, sir. Before I get into your whole, not too much of a life story, your whole life story, positivity. I just recently saw that on your website, and it's funny because I try to come from that place of positivity and laughter and stuff. Was this something that you thought about, or has it been your whole life? What gives you that whole positive thing? Give me that whole story.
Oh, great. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show, and thank you. This is episode 71. This 71 feels good. You know what I mean? Good. Episode 71. This is a good one. I want to tell you, that comes from my grandmother on my father's side. Really, both of my grandmothers. They've passed away now. But my grandmother on my father's side, her name was Clarice, and she lived to be 104.5, we call it, a radio station, 104.5. And she, in her old age, still laughed. She still had all the wits about her, and she used to love to laugh and tell stories. And that's all I remember when I was a kid growing up in Trinidad, her laughing, surrounded by all of her grandkids, her great-grandkids, her great-great-great-grandkids, all laughing, having a great time, and telling funny stories. So with that experience in my family, I truly believe that positive laughter helps you live healthy and a longer life. And I really believe that. So that's what I really try to put out in the world. I really try to put out positive laughter, which is why I have my bracelets, which means LOL, the number 4 life, which is LOL, laugh out loud, for life. Because I really believe positive laughter helps you, just gets the energy flowing and just spreads that love and makes you live longer.
There is something to that. My grandmother, old Sicilian grandmother, lived to 102.
Oh, wow.
And we did laugh a little bit with her. We'd play Uno, and she would go, "Lasta carda." And we just, it was very funny. But yeah, no matter what she ate, she was a big lady. She lived to 102. There is something to that positive energy and trying to spread it around. I like that message.
Yeah, and what an experience to have, to see your grandmother live that long, and just experience it for that long.
Yeah, there's a lot of wisdom that comes from that we lose. It's sad, kind of. You started at the SAC Comedy Lab?
Well, what do you mean by started? Sorry.
Like, where did you? What was your first not professional? Your first comedy gig? Was it stand up? Was it hosting?
Oh, great question. My first stand-up comedy gig was really, I would say, SAC Comedy Lab. I was a lab rat a long time ago. So for you viewers out there, SAC Comedy Lab is an improv theater in Orlando, Florida, and pretty big theater. A lot of famous people came from there. There are a lot of famous people, but one of the most famous people I know is Wayne Brady, who also trained at SAC Comedy Lab. He comes back every once in a while to do shows. And I'm sure when the world gets back on track, he'll return again. I know they've been doing some web shows where I think he was on one of the web shows. But
I saw something in your about something called Mr. Nobody. That was a show.
That was my
just a quick gig or a half-hour thing. What was that?
That was a stand-up show. That was my first stand-up show. I brought all my friends to it. I think I had about 50 people in the coffee shop, and that was taken. The title of that show was called Mr. Nobody because I took it from my dad. My dad always used to. My younger brother was hard-headed, and my dad would always say, "Your brother listens to one person, and that is Mr. Nobody." So that's where that came from. So it was just my stand-up about my life. I used to say my stand-up is about my life, my liberty, and my pursuit of silliness.
I like that your family has so much in you, and I think that's why you come across so genuine to everyone. I mean, I can tell you from my friends around who really sincerely love you, like I do. There's a genuineness that does come across, whether you're just joking and being silly. We know that you're not taking yourself that serious, and that puts everybody on equal grounds, kind of. So I think the genuineness comes across, and that might be because of your family stuff.
And I appreciate that, and thank you for telling me that because I work really hard on that. When I came from Trinidad and Tobago, I came right into elementary school, and it was really hard for me. So I had an accent. A lot of kids used to make fun of me, and it was very painful. So I found the way I dealt with it was I would kind of make fun of myself first, so to get the heat off of me. But I also know what it was like to be laughed at, and that was very painful for me. So I always try to, again, that's what spins again with my grandmother and seeing the laughter and the positivity. I also remember what it was like when people would laugh at me. So I try to make everybody, if I'm laughing, I want everybody to laugh. I want us all to laugh together and not just pick somebody out and make fun of that person or make fun of that thing. I make fun of things that don't have feelings, but or situations. But I don't really like to make fun of people at or have humor at someone's expense.
I agree. If I look ever like I'm looking away, it's because I'm looking at the comments, and I'll get to your comments, guys. Because if you have questions for Mark, he may not answer all of them, but he will get to a few of them.
I know one. I'm not going to answer any of Priscilla's questions, so you can get that out of the way right now.
I agree with that. Priscilla's a mutual friend, and she's asked all the questions already.
She's awesome.
All the questions. So when did you start working for Disney, and how did they approach you and say, hey, we want you to be the MC and be the crowd getter goer, whatever that's called.
I like that, the crowd getter goer. I like that, Sean. That's my new title now, crowd getter. Let me write that down.
That's kind of what it is. It's a crowd getter goer.
Crowd getter goer. We need a crowd getter goer.
That's you. You're the go-to. You're the go-to crowd getter goer.
Yeah, crowd getter goer. CGGOer. Well, I kind of fell into that, but my original job at Walt Disney World was I was still in high school, and I started in the Electric Light Parade at the Magic Kingdom back in 1992, a very long time ago. And from there, I did the Electric Light Parade, and Electric Light Parade then left the Magic Kingdom and went over to Disneyland, and they brought in Spectral Magic. And then I started doing Spectral Magic, so that was a lot of fun for me.
Please don't tell me you were ever one of the clowns on the ball in the front.
No,
because I love those guys.
I can tell you that. Yeah,
I love those guys. Okay, they're a little freaky. Remember the freaky magical people?
Of course.
I don't know what they were called. Nobody knows.
Well, I think in Electric Light Parade, they literally had clowns.
Okay, yeah.
And then in Spectral Magic, they had they were kind of like dolls with the hair coming out.
Zibbity-zoo.
Yeah, is that what you're talking about?
They would say things. Yeah, they were on the walls doing
things. They would say little funny, weird things. Yeah, and they had the fiber optic hair.
Yes. Mm-hmm. When did they come to you, and what was your first gig, not like as a mass cast member, as an MC or a host?
My first gig as an MC, as a host, would be, they had the Christmas filming, the Christmas parade would always air at Walt Disney World. And so I think Regis and Kathy Lee would come and do it. So they needed a crowd warm up, and that was the job of a lot of Disney fans would know the name. His name was Billy Flanagan. Billy Flanagan did a lot of the hosting and the crowd warm up. So he did it, and I worked temporarily for My Family's Got Guts at Nickelodeon for the TV show. They brought it back. They used to have a show called Guts, and then they brought back My Family's Got Guts. So I was the warm-up host for that. So when I did that job, I really understood what was needed as a TV warm-up host to keep the audience engaged without doing stand-up, because it was kind of like My Family's Got Guts was like a sporting game. So I came up with different games to play and different things like that. So one year at the Christmas filming, they were filming at 2 locations at once. So I got the opportunity to work with Billy Flanagan. He had one side of the street and I had the other side. And I really understood, with my knowledge of the Disney guests and TV warm-up and working at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And, at the time it was all about, behind the scenes and seeing how movies were made and things were shot. I put all that knowledge together, and I was able to build a really good experience for guests watching and waiting to film something. And with my Disney knowledge, it was just a perfect match. So, and then after that, I was just doing it ever since.
Do you remember being like supremely nervous for the first time, or not really?
I think because I had the experience before and I worked in the theme parks before, I wasn't very nervous, because the one thing about the theme park performers that are at Walt Disney World were they're all very talented. And the beauty of it is that we don't, when we slow down and think about it, performers at Walt Disney World, we talk to 5,000 people a day, easy. So when it comes to standing in front of people, after you've been doing it at least, 2-3 years, you're not as nervous. You kind of that's where you actually feel comfortable. I think I kind of felt more nervous on the days when it was hot and I had to come up with new material and different things like that. So
okay.
There were those days but you were more hot. But when you're at Walt Disney World, there's material everywhere. I mean, people are already happy. You got material with Mickey Mouse. You got material with the castle. You got material with Disney movies. You got Disney, Disney history, all kind of stuff. So I already had that in my back pocket.
You talk about it like it's nonchalant and it's not a big deal, but you have that. It's like putting Aquaman in the water, for lack of a better term. So to you, I get it. You find them. I think I probably could do that on the fly. I might be really nervous, but a lot of people can't. They just freeze up and they're like, "Oh my God, it's hot." And do they ever tell you, stretch it? We're going long. You got to do something else.
Definitely. There's those times where I have to stretch, and I come up with some pretty wacky games. I'm very proud of a game I made up, and sometimes we'd have to stretch for a very long time, and that's the job of a warm up. It's one of the hardest jobs, just warm ups in general. It's a very hard job. You're never on television, but
you just went out, Mark. You got muted. That's all right. See? Live television. You might have to go back out and go back in. Did we all lose Mark? It's not just me. Yeah, it says you're muted.
I just clicked it again.
Now you're back.
Yes. So I'll keep an eye on that little.
Are you on a timer? You're paying like by the minute, and you need some money in there?
Basically, the meter just turned over, so it's starting up again.
Okay, I only lost you where you said somebody's got to stretch for a long time. You created a game.
Yes. So I don't know if you heard me when I said being a warm-up host is a very hard job. You're not on camera, but when the audience looks good, you're working really hard. So they're out there. It's very hot. You're shooting over and over and over again, and you're trying to keep the audience engaged. So I made up a game. I call it the human Google machine. So I had a big giant inflatable dice, and I would knock it into the crowd, and they would knock it around until I said stop. A number would be, whatever number was facing up. So it could be 5, it could be 4, and I'd turn it into a Disney game. So for instance, if the number was facing up and it was 4, I would say, okay, throughout all this, you can't use your phones, but we have to, as a group, name 4 characters with tails, 4 Disney characters that have tails. So we just do that. I have a Disney version. I have a version of Marvel heroes, like all different versions of that.
You could make this an app, an LOL app of Mark Daniel.
I should, yeah. So,
you're not always off TV. Sometimes you're actually on TV. Sometimes they put you on as the host.
yes. Sometimes I am. In fact, the clip that I have that you showed earlier when I said we're here at the filming, they really appreciate it, and that's a testament to my hard work sometimes, because sometimes the director will be like, "Hey, this guy's really good. Let's try to get him on camera." And so for the filming, I got to be on ABC TV and explain to people what was happening behind the scenes, and that was a really great opportunity and a great experience for me to do. And yeah.
Were you a Star Wars fan before you started to do Star Wars things for Disney?
Not really.
Fandom. Okay.
Yeah, the fandom came later. I appreciated Star Wars. I did like Star Wars. I saw Star Wars, but until I started doing the events and meeting the fans, and then actually not only that, being very lucky to actually meet the creators of Star Wars and the actors of Star Wars and the people who bring Star Wars to life, the people from Story Group, the people, artistic designers and directors and all those people. That's when my love grew. So my love for Star Wars, just like any fan, are the characters and the story. But I think my biggest love for Star Wars is the inspiration, because these people are so creative. Like, the concept art, the storytelling, how things tie together, how you can tell a story and you can go back and, you look at a film that's already been completed and you say, I'm going to do another part of this film and I'm going to tell this story and still tie it into what already exists. I was just fascinated by that creativity. And I think just the whole, the Lucasfilm creativity, much like the Disney creativity, is what inspires me. And just like Disney creativity inspires me to this day, so does Lucasfilm.
Maybe you could do some audiobooks soon. They love your voice. I'm hearing so much about your voice.
Wow, thank you.
So, there was something else I was going to ask you about Star Wars. Mm-hmm. If you had to choose between Star Wars and Predator, I'm assuming you're going with Predator.
Wow. Oh man, ouch. Oh
what
man,
what do you collect Predator-wise? Like everything I see.
Everything Predator. I collect everything Predator. A few Aliens versus Predator, because I like the book series and I like the first film. So a little nerd fact here. There are different kinds of Predators. So the Predator in the original Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator is known as the Jungle Hunter. That is one Predator. The next Predator in Predator 2 is called City Hunter. And then at the end of the film, they release more Predators. So there's Snake and there's all these different, and sometimes they're based on what they look like in their design.
So if I showed you one, you could tell me which one, like you knew which one it was by the look of it, would you know?
Yes, yes, I could tell. Mm-hmm.
I don't have any. I'm just curious.
Yes, next show.
Next show.
So I collect everything Predator. I collect a lot of Jungle Hunter Predators and just Predator in general. And then I kind of narrow it down. I have invisible Predators. I have Predators with weapons, Predators that don't have weapons. I also collect, I have a lot of the character Arnold Schwarzenegger played as Dutch. So I have him in thermal vision. I have him in mud. I have him when he arrived in the film the first time. I have him when he is like in the middle of the film. So
I didn't even know they made Dutch in anything. Do they have Funko Predators? Do you collect those?
Oh yes. I'd like to show you my newest one.
Show me. I was gonna get him one, but he probably has it. I figured on Amazon they have a. Funko
So what Predator. I want to show you right now is I'm gonna nerd out for a second. So this is a Predator. Okay. This is the Funko. And it's called, you see the blue sparks on him?
Yeah.
You notice that?
Yeah, who's he?
Now this is Jungle Hunter. So there's a scene in Predator where Arnold falls in a river and the Predator follows him in. And when he falls in the water, the Predator can turn invisible.
Oh, I remember that. Okay. Remember that.
So when he emerges out of the water, he comes out of the water, he's sparking blue sparks.
Got it. Remember
and
that, yeah.
He's slowly coming from being invisible. So this Predator is him in his invisibility cloak, but he's sparking the blue sparks, as you can see. And then here's another version of him sparking in the blue sparks.
Very cool.
Yeah, so
do you have all the Predator Funkos?
I have a lot of them.
Okay.
I think, you know what? I have all of them, thanks to fans.
Okay.
Because
I was going to
sometimes
get you one too.
Yeah, so they'll send me. So I believe I didn't buy them all, but I do have a lot of Predator Funkos. But another favorite, if you don't mind, I'm going to show you real quick.
No, please. If I mind.
Is this was given to me as a gift, and it is Conan O'Brien from San Diego Comic-Con as the Predator.
That's pretty cool.
Yes. And
No,
he has,
that's a real Funko really made a Predator Conan?
There it is.
No, I thought maybe that was fan made.
Oh no, there it is,
Okay,
right
so
there. TBS.
Did Funko do that because Conan is such a Predator fan also?
Well, what they did, if you look back here at the
they
time
did
during New York Comic Con,
okay,
these films came onto his show because he had a show at not New York Comic Con. I'm sorry, San Diego Comic Con. So he had Star Wars, Predator, Hellboy, and Ant-Man, and these are official, and they made Conan each one of them.
I think once they start to make custom Funkos, you need to make yourself as a Predator.
Definitely.
They might do something like that.
Yes. So that's my big fandom, but and then I could also collect Chewbacca's.
Yeah, that I know a little bit about. But you know what? Before you go into that, tell me about your YouTube channel because I wanna show something that has Chewbacca in it, and then I want to get into more of Chewbacca. But
So,
what is your YouTube channel title?
My YouTube channel is LOL, the number 4, Mark Daniel. That's my
LOL for Mark Daniel.
Yes, LOL, the number 4. So LOL for Mark Daniel is my YouTube channel. It's a mixture of what's
going on his YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's a mixture of what's going on in my head. It could be anything. I do stand up on it. I'll show some of my stand up. I do some skits. It'd be Star Wars, Disney, anything that comes into my head. It's an eclectic mix of the silliness on this side of my brain.
Would you say that you always, it seems like you always did the YouTube channel, but now because things are quiet, sorry, not really quiet, telephone not quiet, that you're doing it more because you've had an opportunity?
Yes, very much so. The YouTube is hard. I'll tell you, I'm a very, like when I think of something, I have to do it very quickly. So I tend to use my phone. I have a really nice camera, but for YouTube, the nicer and clearer the camera, the better it looks. And sometimes my phone doesn't capture the clarity. But when I bring my camera out and I put up the tripod, it's too much for me to do, and I lose my the creative force. So a lot of it is just on my phone. So I tend to put those quicker on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And then I'll collect them all and put them back on YouTube. So I'm trying to do more YouTube, but I'm really doing more Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, but you're putting some of them on YouTube. Is that how?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. Like I know you have a series. One is the I4 rants seem to be like a series that people know, that I know. Also, there is the what's the dating thing?
So
the Mark Daniels Bachelor Pad.
Yeah, my Bachelor Pad. So I have so the idea of my Bachelor Pad is I'm trying to be cool and hip, but I'm a Star Wars nerd. So Star Wars will bleed into me trying to be cool, and it will mess me up. So that's the idea. So when I'm showing you my Bachelor Pad, something Star Wars for the fans, you'll see it jump in there and mess up my game, if you will.
Can I show you guys a clip of this? This is probably about 4 minutes, but I'm going to get to the 2-minute mark and stop it and then let you go to his channel to see it. I'm going to stop it at the part of Chewbacca that I really like. But watch this. This is his Bachelor Pad. The other one that I like too now is you going absolutely crazy because you're out of work. That's really funny. Where he's lost it. But let me get over to this. Watch this one. This is funny.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to the Daniel Bachelor Pad. That's right. I got a kitchen, so in case you get hungry, damn it, Salacious B. Crumb, get down! Sorry about that, ladies. I lost my cool. But let's see. You want some hot tea? I'll be serving you some Twinings, of course. And I've got some fine china. And to get that tea done nice and hot very quickly, I've got an electric kettle ready to go, plugged in right to the wall. Dang it, Minox sucking on the power cable. Shoo! Okay, I'm better now. Now that could have been a little stressful, but ladies, you can always hit the Daniel Bachelor Pad shower. You know what I'm saying? Is that a damn Dianoga? Y'all need to get out! Hello, ladies. Welcome back to the Daniel Bachelor Pad. I want to show you the Daniel breakfast bowl. First, you want to fry up some sausage. There you go. Scramble some eggs. Boom. Pour that in. Scramble that up. Add in some pre-made sweet potatoes. Throw it in a bowl because it's a breakfast bowl. Sprinkle some cheese. Oh, crap, that ain't working. Oh, crap. Okay, sprinkle, just get the cheese in it. Add some Fantasyland trash can salt. And there you have it, ladies, your Daniel breakfast bowl. Yummy, yummy, yummy in the morning. Hey, Chewbacca, this ain't for you. Drink your Twinings.
There's a lot more than what I just showed you. By the way, the cheese, it's not really working out. I think it's the way you commit to it. Chewbacca, it's not for you. It's really good stuff. The people are laughing at this stuff. So
I see some of the comments, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much to your viewers. And I got to tell you, you gave me a really good compliment. You said, it's my commitment, and it's why I need. It's probably why I need therapy because the thing is, I really see it. I really see them, and sometimes if I'm not giggling when I'm filming something, I won't put it up.
Something. Ron Schneider, you remember Ron Schneider from
Ron
Figment?
Schneider.
He says it best. With one day he brought Figment into the Magic Kingdom, and he realizes Figment is only at Epcot, and he had Figment looking around like, wow, like he couldn't believe there was a Magic Kingdom. And he said to me, or I think he said it in his book, or he said it to everybody, not to me. It felt like it was to me. He says, if you don't believe that it's real, nobody else is.
Yeah.
And I guess it's the same thing where you just commit to, how am I going to react if there's a Dianoga in my show? And it comes across really good. So he's got all this stuff on his YouTube channel. Give me that address again for them to go.
LOL for Mark Daniel. And then I also have some videos where I played these videos, and Tony Giordani helped me direct. He's a show director at Disney, and this was my dream. So I actually got to work with Chewbacca. And it's a dream. Like I had a dream that Chewbacca was my best friend, and then I have some videos of what that day would be like, and that's on my YouTube channel too.
Did you work with the guy, the real person?
This one was Chewbacca from Disney World.
Okay.
Chewbacca, he was visiting Disney World, and that's where I worked with him when he was visiting Disney World.
Amy's got this question for you because I thought it might tie into that. That's why I asked that question. What's the most starstruck you actually ever were from a celebrity? That would be. I was on a show called. Quick backstory. I was on a show called Sheena. I think it was Sheena, Warrior of the Jungle, a Mistress of the Jungle. I can't remember, but I was on one episode. I happened to be on the episode that was directed by Carl Weathers. So I got to work with Carl Weathers. I am starstruck because I'm with Carl Weathers. Now, I'm a Predator fan. Carl Weathers is in Predator. Oh, that's right.
Yes. So after we shoot all day, I even wore a Predator shirt to the shoot. Of course, I changed it to my military. I was a military sergeant. But at the end of the shoot, I went over and I said, Carl Weathers, thank you. It was an honor being directed by you. And I just want to tell you, I love Predator. I watch it every year, and a friend of mine, we have a tradition where we would eat ribs and watch Predator. And he said, that was a really fun movie to work on. He said, that's probably some of the most fun I ever had working on a film. And so that went away, met Carl Weathers, that was done. I'm at Star Wars Celebration. They have the big panel. Mandalorian hasn't aired on Disney Plus yet, but it's coming. So they have a panel with a sneak peek of The Mandalorian. Of course, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau is going to be there, Kathleen Kennedy. That's the big lineup. We're not thinking anybody else because we don't know who's really in The Mandalorian. I walk backstage. I walk right into the cast of The Mandalorian, and standing there, I have no idea is in The Mandalorian, as we all know now, is Carl Weathers. And I was just fanboy, and I was like, "Oh my God!" He was just because you are.
You gotta feed that meter.
Yeah, I gotta feed it. So where did you miss me?
I just only 2 seconds. So yeah, I got you. Okay. Carl Weathers, I would have been going crazy too.
Yeah, so I saw him again. So it was when I met Carl Weathers again every time I meet Carl Weathers, I'm starstruck. So I reminded him. I said, "Hey, Carl Weathers, you directed me in Sheena," and he's like, "Oh yeah, at Disney. Yeah, I remember that." Of course, he didn't remember me, but he remembered directing shows at. He walks me around and he's introducing me to like the cast. So that was really cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug this mic.
Okay. I'm sorry. It keeps going out on you. I know it's not your fault. Da 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 da. Waiting for Mark. Yeah, Mary, it's your fault.
Yeah. So I've unplugged it. Can you still hear me? Okay.
We hear you fine. Yes.
Okay. And I'll keep looking down because the only time I know I'm muted.
So all you have to see is me doing this, and.
All right. Perfect.
Like Airplane when she gets stabbed in the back and.
So Carl Weathers.
Okay, that's great. I'm trying to think. Who did I see? Who's Lando Calrissian?
Billy D. Williams.
That's who I saw at the Grand Floridian one year and just went crazy.
Oh wow!
Not Carl. I did get him mixed up for a second, just for a second with Carl Weathers. So yeah, I saw the guy who does the villain in Star Wars, the Jedi, the Emperor.
Oh yes,
he was
Ian
in
McDermott.
Yes, he was in a show at the studios, and I thought, this guy's never going to play this part again. How sad is that? And that was like maybe 10 years ago, and then sure enough, now we know he came back. I was thrilled that he came back, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a funny story. Is doing Star Wars Celebration. He was doing for the first time he came to Orlando, and the first time he's doing Star Wars Celebration in America. And sometimes I get to meet them and talk to them, and hey, I'm going to introduce you. Anything you'd like to say? But I remember the prequels had already come out, and I was scared to meet him because he looks exactly like Palpatine, just in general. He just looks like him. There's no makeup or anything. And I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, oh my goodness,
He's got that. When he does that voice, it's just so great that he talks about how it gurgles and comes up from his throat. It's just great. Yeah, some characters are so good at the character. When you meet them, I think it's hard to separate them from the character. I know if I saw Joffrey from Game of Thrones, I'd have to beat the kid up, and I don't want to do that to the poor actor.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to smack the kid around.
Couldn't help it. Has anything that you can remember as you're hosting or emceeing gone horribly wrong that is worth mentioning and that you might be allowed to mention, or is it something you can't think of a bad moment or something where you went, whoa, I have to fix this? I know I'm putting on the spot with that.
Yes. Okay. I'm doing a Night of Joy.
Okay.
And this is Night of Joy had moved from Magic Kingdom to ESPN Wild World of Sports.
I remember that.
Which technically was a much better venue for concerts. They did it up. I mean, it was beautiful. Everything turned into like full concert venues, unlike you could do at the Magic Kingdom. And as you know, it's kind of hard at Magic Kingdom because, they have day guests and they're trying to set up for night. And it was easier to move it, but I won't get into that. But I am doing the main stage. I'm hosting at the big baseball field, and they just turned into a giant stadium because that's where the main acts are. And I just got there, and I'm getting a list that's changing constantly, and so I'm introducing a lot of acts. But the big act comes up, and I'm not familiar with a lot of Christian music bands. One big group is a group called King and Country. So they're going up, and I'm getting ready. So I'm trying to get in the zone. I'm like, okay, King and Country. But then their manager starts talking to me, and he's just like really talking to me about, I don't know. He's just talking. He's nervous, and there's some people that are nervous talkers. I'm not a nervous talker. I'm like, if I'm nervous, I'm quiet. I'm getting to myself. But he was a nervous talker. He didn't know what I was doing, so he just started talking to me. And I'm trying to look over my papers, but I'm trying to be nice. So right before we go on, they all get together and they say a prayer. So everybody's praying. They pull me in. I'm praying. And then, so while they're praying, it's time for me to go out. So I just had to run out. And it was like, okay. And I think they ended with like, thanks God for being here. And they said, Mark, you got to go. I run out on stage and big arena. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for God and country? Not King and Country. I say God and country.
It's actually not inaccurate.
Not inaccurate, but the fans are like, King and Country, King. So I could tell now it's starting to get kind of like you could
lost
feel the
him.
energy of the crowd. They're like, who is this guy? Who gets the name wrong? And so
Were you able to save it?
I saved it thanks to upstairs. So I said, so when I saw that, I said, okay, I got to save this. I look really bad right now. And
How quick did you realize? Was it right after you said it, or
right after I said it? As
Okay.
like I said, a lot of us at Disney are performers. You can read a crowd. It's like braille. You can feel it, and I can feel I'm losing them, and so it kicks in. And I said, and as soon as I start losing them, I know it's night of joy. I said, I know. I said, but I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you out there, but God is my king. And they just cheered.
That's
And
great.
I said,
So it
anybody
looked
else
like
your king? And they like, yeah. And I said, well, get ready for King and Country. Boom. I think I ran and I hid. I apologized to King and Country, but they were like fine with it. But the manager was not happy. I just laid low until they were done.
That is a good save. If they're watching this now, they know that it was that was still a great save. That was very good. So what else can you tell me about how to follow you? If I want to go to, I can keep you and talk to you forever. I don't want to take up all your time, but I would.
I got nothing to do. I'm just kidding.
That's no good. Do we have questions for him? There's a little bit of a delay by the time we ask and we get questions. Give me some questions for Mark, please. If he,
I'm on the TikTok now. I'm doing some crazy TikTok.
Oh, that's right. You are. I tried. I can't learn new things. Do you like TikTok?
I like TikTok. I had it a long time ago and I got rid of it. And then I got it again. I'll tell you, what I like about TikTok are the filters and the editing tools on it. Because like I said, I like being on my phone and doing things and everything. So the editing tools on TikTok are just fun. So if you're very creative, they've like 20 filters. So when you're creative, you can look at the filter and go, oh, I can use this filter and I'll do this. And I'll surprise them with this. So
I've seen you using those filters. It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah. So it's
all right, I'm putting some questions down here for you.
Yeah, definitely. I got a question here. What is my favorite part of Galaxy's Edge? Great question. I love Galaxy's Edge. I think my favorite part of Galaxy's Edge is not necessarily the attractions, which they are amazing. What I like about Galaxy's Edge is walking around and looking at the universe of Star Wars, the galaxy of Star Wars. There's literally a prop or a crate or a tube from every single Star Wars live action film. Like you can see. There were things I didn't even know what it was until I rewatched Rogue One. And I was like, oh, those are the things in Rogue One. So that's what I like about it, is the attention to detail of the props. It's amazing. My TikTok name is LOL for Mark Daniel.
Awesome. This is a good question. I like this one.
What am I most excited about for the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World? I'm excited that I'm excited that we have a celebration coming up when the world gets normal again. That's what I say.
Aren't you glad it's not like right now?
Yeah. So I have no idea what they're planning, but it's going to be good. And I'm just excited that we have a celebration coming up.
Michael Disney Dad, thank you. I forget that there's money that can come into YouTube. I don't even ask for it, but somebody just sent $5 and said, great stream, John. I will have to take Mark out to lunch, even though at Disney the $5 will not go far, but I will still take him out to lunch. Thank you, Michael.
Well, thanks, Michael.
I think
that's
that
awesome.
guy looks like somebody I know, actually. Michael Shabetta. Okay, this is a good one, and I'm going to take a guess as to what I think it is, but you tell me first.
My favorite attraction is I would always jump and say Rise of the Resistance. Rise of the Resistance. It's new, it's amazing. You interviewed me right after I got off at John.
That was fun. That was fun.
And I had to come talk to you because I was speechless. I literally didn't know what I was saying. I was like, John, can you not air that, please? Because I didn't know what I was thinking. Because I was just blown away.
It was overwhelming.
But it is my favorite. But some people go, oh, you just saying it because it's new. You're a Star Wars fan. It is really good. It is an experience. But my favorite attraction, I would have to say, is, if I take it away, I would say Flight of Passage.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
I'd go with Haunted Mansion still for me.
Yeah.
But I'm glad. Yeah, that's good. And you've done Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, right?
I wasn't able to. I did the live stream for the grand opening, but I had really bad back issues. I had some back pain, and I could not experience the attraction because my back was hurting really, really bad.
Okay, I think you're going to be really impressed. Try to stay away from videos if you can.
I
I'm
have
a video
that
guy. Good.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, stay away because it's really incredible.
I made it through. I made it through the pre-show all the way up to the ride to get onto the train. So, and even that was pretty cool.
Right, the whole walking into the movie thing. Yeah.
So that was really neat.
Let's see, what's this? Mark, what's been your favorite gig? Ah, okay.
So, hey, Mark, what's your favorite gig? I've spent hours with you at parades and events, in and out of Disney around Celebration. What's your favorite experience?
I'm sorry, I was giving you a pause to read. I didn't mean to just lay it on you.
Beatrice, that's a great question, and I hope I entertained you while you were waiting for parades. I'll tell you what, the Christmas filming is probably my favorite. I just like it. It's just a lot of fun getting to be there. It's usually 3-4 days of work, and getting to meet the stars and just hanging with the people that come to watch, the cast members that come, the college program, the families that come and stay and hang out. I would say the Christmas filming. That's my favorite.
Look at what this Priscilla lady just said.
Priscilla's is the one she's at.
Let's see. I don't know. I don't think we didn't really answer this, but we kind of did, Stan. He kind of fell into it, I would think, with just working at Disney.
Which job is that?
I think Stan was working at Disney. He started off like in the electrical parade and stuff.
Yeah.
And eventually somebody saw your personality and tapped you to do these other things and said, "Hey, let's try to get this guy."
Yeah, I I did the parades, and then I went to Disney's Hollywood Studios. I'll go through and date myself. I didn't open, but I was a part of the Aladdin's Royal Caravan, which was at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Then I was a part of Toy Story Parade. Then I was a part of the Hercules Parade. Then I was going to be a part of Fantasmic when it was coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios. So this was a big brand new show coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios. And I was going to be a part of the cast of Fantasmic. Then Animal Kingdom was going to open. So I auditioned to be an actor at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And at the same time, I was auditioning. I wanted to be in the Jungle Book. There was a show where Finding Nemo is now. It was called Journey into Jungle Book.
That was before Tarzan Rocks or after?
Before Tarzan Rocks, correct.
Ah, okay.
Yes, that was the first show at that theater in the wild. Listen, here's a little story about failure. I was going to go audition for Singing Baloo. If you've seen a lot of my interviews before, you would know that The Jungle Book is my favorite Disney animated feature film besides Princess and the Frog. And I was ready to be Singing Baloo. And I remember I go in the room. Sarah Q, she was a singer. She wrote Look for the Bare Necessities in my key. And I went in, took my music in. I was ready to go. I am not a singer. I've never sung before professionally in any way, shape, or form. I go in the room and I say, look for the bare necessities. They say, thank you.
Sounds pretty good. Just that little bit.
Not good enough, apparently. And they were like,
did you see when they did Jungle Book Alive in concert? Not Alive in concert. The thing where Rivers of Light is?
Yes. And actually, I did the pre-show for that with some other actors.
Okay. I liked the Jungle Book version in that one, especially the instrumentals. It was a quick temporary show that,
Yeah, it was a really cool show, and they had live singing there. And some really unique fire dancers and stuff like that. It was really cool. It was a temporary show before Rivers of Light was completed.
Yes. This question, I don't know if you can answer. I know you are friends with someone at this shop. Do you know if everything comes back, if you might become friends again?
That is a question I cannot answer. I hope to return.
Okay.
I hope to return to see my friend.
All right.
So fingers crossed.
I wanted to go. You are free to go whenever you say, John, I am done with you. I was going to show these nice people a little ABC News video from Shanghai, just to show the changes that are going on and talk to them about what is going on. And you can definitely stay around for that conversation. Or if you think there's things in there you don't want to even touch yourself with, I don't mind. So that is up to you. I won't be offended if you say goodnight.
Yeah, you know what? I'll hang and I'll watch the video with everyone. Everybody took their time and hung and asked me some great questions. So
if they have more,
watch the video with everyone.
If you have more questions, guys, you let me know. The reason I'm showing this to you is also I'm going on Fox 35 in the morning. I don't like to do rumor. I don't like to do conjecture. But that's all there really is to do for now. So we're going to talk some fact, like what's changed in Shanghai and what do we believe. By the way, there's a big thing between Shanghai or Shanghai. I'm saying Shanghai. Sometimes I'm saying Shanghai just to appease everyone. Yes. Shang. No, Mary, I'm not kicking him out, but I want to give him his freedom here. So the factual things are what has changed there. Do I believe all of that's coming here? Who knows? Can I take a guess? Yeah, I think most of it's coming here. So I want to just show you this little, it's an ABC News thing. It's probably about 2 minutes, and then we can all discuss. Because it's an interesting thing. Are you up to date with what's going on there a little bit, Mark, from watching?
You might know a little bit more than me. I kind of watched through Twitter. I saw a couple, following the official Twitter accounts of Shanghai, and Disney. So I know a little bit about, and then I saw some of what Bob Chapek was talking about.
Okay, this might be some new stuff in here for you. Take a peek at this.
Turn now to Shanghai Disneyland. It is starting to reopen this morning, just the first phase, a very careful first phase, with visitors required to wear masks, submit to temperature screenings, and social distance. Will Reeve joins us with more on what this could mean for parks here in the U.S. Good morning, Will.
Good morning, George. Careful is the operative word here. So many of those safety measures in place. Visitors capped at 1/3 capacity. But as Disney looks ahead to what might be in store for its other parks around the world, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Overnight, the doors opening in Shanghai Disneyland. Excited? Marking the first of Disney's major parks to resume operations. Tickets for the reopening selling out in minutes. But it won't be business as usual. The reopening set to be a cautious and measured phased event, prioritizing safety.
We have cast members throughout the park that are continuously wiping down and making sure that everything is disinfected and sanitized.
Along with increased cleaning, the park limiting total attendance to 30% capacity. Temperature screenings and face coverings required for all guests entering the park, and social distancing enforced at all times.
Whether it's at the main entrance, the attractions, the restaurants, shops, everywhere you go, just give people space.
While Disney, the parent company of ABC News, is still keeping its U.S., Hong Kong, Tokyo, and Paris parks closed, the company announcing a phased reopening of Florida's retail, dining, and entertainment center Disney Springs beginning May 20th. The Walt Disney Company saying in a press release, quote, a limited number of shopping and dining experiences that are owned by third-party operating participants will begin to open during this initial phase. The rest of Walt Disney World Resort will remain closed, including theme parks and resort hotels. As for whether Shanghai Disneyland will provide a blueprint for the reopening of Disney parks worldwide,
we communicate all the time with our other parks around the world, share operational best practices. So hopefully we can inspire them. We can share some of those best practices here, and they'll adapt based on what they need to do there to satisfy their guests and their communities.
There is no concrete timeline for Disney's other parks to reopen to the public around the world, but expect similar safety measures and precautions to those implemented at Shanghai Disneyland. George.
All right, so some interesting things there. When we heard from Chapek, I'm going to get the comments back here, he did say that he believes masks will be, required here for some time. And I get a lot of people that tell me, I won't wear a mask, I won't do this, and I have to respectfully say, well, then stay home. It's private property. I still think some magic is better than none, and if this is what we have to go through for now, this is what we got to do. I think that camera that shows the temperature of the people walking, did you see that, Mark?
I did.
That's just crazy. Like it puts a little box and it tells what the temperature is of these people as they're walking in.
From my experience, I've been fascinated with the digital technology in China. It's insane. They have cameras that can look at all different types of things. It's very, very things that I haven't seen implemented here in the United States of America. They've implemented some amazing technology with thermal vision and all kind of stuff in China. So when I saw that, I was like, "Whoa, I see it."
What they're not showing you is something that really surprised me. With all their technology, they showed that there were stations for hand sanitizing going into an attraction and out, and it was a little pump bottle. And I was like, "What happened to the touchless dispensers? You showed me all this technology that takes your temperature. There's a little pump bottle that I got." So I don't know why that is.
And that's most important.
What?
When they lose power, that can still work.
I thought they were battery operated little things they put around, but I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I'm ready for this new phase if it has to happen, because I'd rather have, again, a little bit of magic than none. Again, not to come down, not to bring the room down at all, because everything with me is always positive. They told me in some video that if somebody coughs on this side of a restaurant, that these people on the other side of the restaurant could get it. So I don't know how much this 6 feet apart is really doing for anyone. And if you have to eat or drink, we're taking the mask down, and we don't know what masks are like in the heat yet, but we're gonna have to do it. And it looks like this is coming. It looks like. Let me see. I'm looking at what people are asking. Am I going to the Springs? Is this for me on the 20th? I don't want to just add to their crowd of people that might be curious for no reason. Unless I'm planning on eating at one of the third-party restaurants that are opening, I really don't want to be one of those vloggers that goes just to film a few people having some masks on so that I can share it. Is it great for clicks? Probably, but I don't want to add to that atmosphere unless there's a reason to go. Does that make sense?
Good.
And let's see, Mark, they're asking me here, do you remember hosting any of the Disney social media mom celebrations? Oh, I'm sure he remembers some of those.
That's some of my favorite. Yes, I do remember hosting. In fact, that hosting the Disney social media mom celebration is what helped me get the job of Inside Disney Parks, working with Leanne O'Regan, Holly Benke, and working with that team, and Jen Fickley-Baker. That's why I met Jen Fickley-Baker. And so that my chemistry with Leanne O'Regan was just a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. And that they saw my personality. And I remember Holly, who was like a freelance, she was like, "Mark, I have a job that I think you're good for, and I can't tell you what it is." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "Yeah, but they just need to see you." Okay.
That Leanne, is that Leanne Jakubowski O'Regan?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know her now.
Yeah.
When I first met her at a media event, I thought she was a vlogger, and I was like, "Hi, what's the name of your site?" It's pretty funny.
My site's called Walt Disney World.
Walt Disney World. Oh, I think I've heard of that. Thank you, Christine. Somebody's also asking, will I go to Disney World when it first opens? Now, that's different. I will literally bring... I'm sorry, I clicked one accidentally. What am I clicking here? I will bring some Purell with me and put it on the castle wall and give a little kiss and then wipe it off, I think. Mm-hmm. I feel I need to walk down Main Street and see that it's still there. Hopefully if it's painted. So that's a little different, but not to go to the Disney Springs. Right. So how do you all feel about the changes? And again, I don't know when it's opening up. They were taking reservations for June. They have since stopped taking reservations for June. It's now July 1st and beyond, but they have not canceled anybody for June yet. That could be in a week from now, they're going to cancel June, they're not going to do anything. Or maybe they are going to open up one park for June and just keep it very light with whoever has a reservation and see if they want to keep it. We just don't know. And anybody that tells you that they know, my friend is a cast member, they don't know. Not for sure.
I don't know.
I mean, you hear things and you hope things and I heard a janitor is being called back. I heard that some of the cast members for Disney Springs are going back, but I can't put it all together. And maybe they're there just to clean something. I don't know, and I don't want to, give any false information.
I'll tell you a fact. In my experience, and this let's not talk about a pandemic or anything like that. But I was there I got to host Inside Disney Parks, and I got to go in Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge before it opened. But Galaxy's Edge, when I went into Galaxy's Edge before it opened, it was dirt on the ground. But I got to go to Toy Story Land probably about 2 to 3 days before it opened to guests. And the amount of safety precautions they had to put in to make sure these because they have the queue line, and the queue line looks like connects bricks and different things like that. They need to make sure, because people are going to climb things, they're going to squeeze between things, they're going to try to get over. If I can get in here, then I'm supposed to. So all the precautions they went through to make sure people know you can't go over here, you can't even try to squeeze through here. We need to make it look like it still looks like toys, but it doesn't look like you should be crawling or climbing on this. The amount of things they went through to make sure that was safe and people wouldn't get hurt, and that's just on a regular day.
Right.
That's just we're going to open the park. So you can imagine opening after this pandemic and trying to keep people safe. That's going to be a big undertaking for Walt Disney World. And I know for a fact they take guest safety is paramount. They close.
They got to modifying everything. Like I even thought the Haunted Mansion. Let's say you fill up every other Doom buggy, maybe. I'm just guessing. What about the stretching room? Are we skipping that? Because no matter where you stand in there, it's too many people. So again, like you say, they're modifying everything.
Yeah.
It's going to be it's taking time.
That's going to take a lot of coordination. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
And even if you hear somebody says, "Well, I'm calling back to work," like you said, they're calling back to work. That doesn't mean they're opening. That means we're going to work to prepare to open, and that could take a while. I'm not talking from any knowledge. I'm just talking about. I know it's going to be a big undertaking to get to that level, to where people can see and understand the safety things that are in place.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult. Even with Epcot, I thought you can't just call up the other countries immediately and say, "Hey, we need somebody to work France." This is a time-consuming thing to get. Once that ball stops, to get that rolling again, to open up a kitchen, even just to close a kitchen, to get all the food out and keep it clean and make sure rats and roaches didn't overrun everything. There's still so much that's got to go on. It's just amazing to me, and it's something. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And just looking at that Shanghai video. You see all the signs and, like you said, the hand sanitizers. That's just think about Disney trash cans. They're a certain amount of feet apart, so you got to think what a hand sanitizer is going to be like. The one thing I can remember is when we had the Zika, and they had they had the mosquito repellent everywhere. I don't know if you remember that in the parks.
I do remember that. Yeah. I said, I think I've recently seen some sort of a mosquito repellent. Like I'm saying, within a couple of months, they still had just a few stations. But yeah, I remember that the Zika thing. They had that big gallon jug of stuff. Yeah,
they tried for a little bit. I think they had sponsors and they had the little bottles, but people were taking them.
Did they really?
Yeah, they had little baskets. They look cute. People were just taking the whole basket. So they said, just put the big pump out.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they get for the murder hornets.
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm kidding. There's no murder hornets. They're not coming to get us, the murder hornets. I don't think they are. Mary says, I work for a public library and the reopening document, wow, is 30 pages. Could you imagine, Mary, what Disney's document looks like?
Wow.
Each park.
Each attraction.
And what attraction? Okay, there are no fireworks at Shanghai, which we understand why, for social, no groups. I'm guessing there's no big shows, I believe. And you had to make a reservation to get into the park, which is really interesting. How would they, everybody's going to run to get on their thing because they sold out within a few minutes. So people are itching to get back to the magic. Mark, did you watch the Imagineering documentary on Disney Plus?
I watched the first episode.
Okay.
But I haven't completed it.
You've got to complete it. It's so good. But the last one talks about Japan and when they had an earthquake and how everything around Japan got a little bit of jostling, but because Disney was built with such standards, it was very safe, except for like a crack in the parking lot, nothing. They handed teddy bears out to all the people, and they said it told the Japanese culture that Disney is safe. And the Imagineer who talks about reopening and how the people needed it after the earthquake, he's crying, saying, this is what I do. And he's just crying, saying, this is what we do. And if you see it, you cry. Because that's how they're going to feel when we reopen the Magic Kingdom, I think. Does anybody remember that part with the, just people just saying, look, that wasn't, I remember that was really good. I think that was in the 6th, 7th, or 8th episode. But if you can get back to those, they are really interesting. Yeah. They're great. Oh, yeah, they showed you the characters like, up on a balcony, the train station. We can say hello, we can wave and all that stuff. It's just not going to be as, normal right away. So, all right. We're at an hour. I don't want to stretch it, but I could talk to Mark forever. Do we have any other questions for Mark before we end this wonderful stream and you come back next Tuesday? Next Tuesday is Ron Schneider. Tuesday at 8 o'clock. I'm trying to get into if it's Taco Tuesday, it's Panda Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, WDWPOV. Mark is you really were a great guest, Mark. Thank you. You made my week, month,
week, hour. So 71, baby.
This is, and they were monthly because I had such a huge edit because I would record them. Now that it's live, I'm like, okay, I'll do it weekly. So,
you know what, now, John? Can I give you some props? I mean, this was nice. I like how you faded into not just because it was my material, but I liked how you faded into material and you showed another video and we get in and out of it.
Thank you.
I felt like this. I feel prime time, John. Prime time.
Well, I go on Fox 35. I don't know what I'm doing half the time, but they listen to me. I don't know why. Those are really nice people there. They make you feel comfortable. That's not even prime time. That's 9 o'clock in the morning when nobody's there. But thank you. It's a weird thing when you're doing this live thing because even though there's comments going, there's nobody there to talk to. I'm so glad you were there that I got to talk to. So thank you, Priscilla. I don't know if what does she want?
Mm-hmm.
I got to give her something for this.
Yeah, she's you're good at what you do. Total pro, Priscilla.
What do I got to give her for that? I got to give gift certificates, gift cards. What?
Give her the $5 you got.
Okay, that's. Thank you, Christine. So, Mark, thank you so much. Thank you to all you people out there. I do a little sign off. You can hang out here, Mark, until I click end broadcast. Go forth, create pandemonium. Above all, even though we're in the pandemic, when you can give a hug, still try, even if you have a face mask on. Thank you, guys. Love you all. Mwah. And I'll have a prize next week. Ron Schneider, Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Oh, Mark, give me your YouTube once again, please.
Definitely. Well, thanks for having me on. This was fantastic. Thank you to all the listeners. Thank you for all your comments and questions. I loved it. You can follow me on @LOL for Mark Daniel. That's @LOL, the number 4, Mark Daniel. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and the TikTok. Instagram I mentioned, and but my Facebook is Mark Daniel Comedy, and you can check me out at markdanielcomedy.com.
And that YouTube again, because that's my favorite, was
LOL for the number 4, Mark Daniel. Laugh out loud.
Okay, you're gonna get a .com hopefully and connect it there like we were talking.
Definitely, yes. You told me about that, so I'm gonna look into that.
And I'll be in contact with you. Hopefully we do this another again. If it's weekly now, I'm gonna need you back at some point.
I'd love to come back.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
It's ended.